Good evening and welcome. Good evening and welcome. We are about to get started. We have a few of you who've already joined us, and we welcome you to our session, this free webinar on homework, hormones, and headaches. Let us know where you're logging in from. You can type in the chat. Let us know where you've logged in from, and let us see where our participants are coming from throughout this Caribbean region and beyond. Let us know where you've logged in from. Right, we have someone from Jamaica. Welcome, welcome. It's Maisie. Welcome. So go ahead and let us know where you're coming from. Trinidad. Terry Marie is from Trinidad. I am seeing the Grenadian flag. Welcome, Sheena. Welcome. So we are having representatives. We're having participants from across the region. Welcome. We will begin shortly. Good evening, good evening. Let us know where you're joining us from. Go ahead and type it in the chat. Welcome, we're about to begin. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, those of you who've just joined us. Feel free to go ahead and indicate in the chat where you are joining us from. Where are you joining us from? Welcome, welcome, everyone. Where are you joining us? We have participants who signed in from Jamaica. We have Trinidad. We have Grenada on board. Welcome to the 21st Century Educators free webinar series. And this section of our series is going to focus on homework, hormones, and headaches, parenting teens 101. And we are focusing specifically on secondary school students, but I will also encourage you to invite your friends, family, relatives who may have students in primary school, but are getting ready for their secondary school experience. So we're here, homework, hormones, and headaches. Secondary school brings more than just textbooks. So let's talk about how to support your child emotionally, socially, and academically. My name is Kimmery Richardson Thomas.
Please.
Yes, I am Kimmery Richardson Thomas, and I'm joined by Dave Puma. And together, we are going to be your guides in this evening's session. And we hope that you are ready to have questions answered, and you have questions that you're going to ask. And without any further ado, I'm handing over to my very able colleague, Dave Puma.
All right, so thank you so much, Kimmery. To the parents in our midst, like Kim said, we at 21st Century wish to welcome you to the first in our, as part of our series, Homework, Hormones, and Headaches, Parenting Teens 101. We felt that it was important to engage and involve our parents, even though our parameter surrounds educators. The parents are an important stakeholder. And so this series is with parents and the students in mind. This afternoon, we are specifically focusing on the transition from from primary school to Form 1. And we're here to support you with strategies as very busy parents to help your child, your children as they transition. All right, I hope that you are hearing me fairly well, because at this point, I want to invite you to do one of two things. You can either scan the QR code, or you can go to www.menti.com and enter this code to respond to a poll. All right, so I'm giving you a few seconds. You can scan the QR code, or you can go to menti.com, enter this code, and we will get your feedback on a very important question. Let me see if I can attempt to stop some of the feedback that some of you are getting with audio. Just give me a few seconds while you go to menti.com. Kim, can you guide them through what they're going to do in menti.com?
Yes. So we can do that. I will also share with you a direct link, because there'll be about 3 questions that we will ask this evening. And you would have an opportunity to engage with us where those are concerned. So the link for the Mentimeter is being shared in the chat.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kim.
Right? We're going to send it there. So very good. Right. And I also saw that Leanne has shared the code. Right. She has,
Yes.
we have that.
Beautiful.
We have a
And
system.
just in case, Kim, just in case they can't go to menti.com, they can type the answer to the question, one of the 3 questions in the chat. We want to hear from you as parents. What is one of your biggest concern right now as it relates to your child's transition from primary to secondary school? So you can use menti.com, or you can assist us in the chat and you can put in your feedback. My friend Kimmery will be monitoring both menti.com and the chat. What are some of your biggest concerns? Kim, do we have any responses that some of our parents have shared in the chat? What is your biggest concern right now as a parent helping your child transition from primary to secondary school? You would have concerns.
Right. So we're just waiting for some persons to respond.
Okay.
And let's see if we are here. So let me share this. And
Sure.
1 second. Right. So click on this. What is the biggest concern?
All right. So
Click
while Kim,
directly on this one here for those of you who are still waiting for the code. And
yes.
I will bring up that poll.
So I will stop sharing so you can show them the results of their input.
What is your biggest concern right now?
What are they saying to us, Kimmery?
All right. So I've not heard anything yet. I've not seen anything yet.
All right, so we're giving them a chance. So while they get their thoughts together and they share their biggest concern, I will continue presenting. And when we get responses from them, we will have their input. All right.
Yes.
So,
So let's continue.
yes. So just in case you're pondering on what is your biggest concern right now, we were doing some thinking for you as we prepared this presentation. And we know for most of you, while in primary school, your child would have been focused, especially in standard 5, standard 4 and 5, on a few subjects, mainly the math, the English, the creative writing. That was the crux of the focus in primary school. But as they transition to secondary school, they are going to be exposed to a number of subjects, no longer just math, English, creative writing. Some students may be doing up to 13 subjects at the secondary school level. How many subjects are your kids doing? If you want to tell us, let us know in the chat the number of subjects that your kids are doing now in secondary school as compared to when they were in primary school. So that's one of the things that your children will have to get accustomed to, moving from dealing with a few subjects to a myriad of sub-subjects stemming from math, English, social studies, science, computer science, and of course the lovely foreign languages, Spanish and French.
We
Another
have
thing that you...
we have a response in the chat
Mhm.
from one participant. Stacy Ann says that her biggest concern is him keeping up with his schoolwork and understanding the schoolwork, because it's more subjects per day.
Yes, and it's a very genuine concern. And she chimed in just at the right time because we were now talking about subjects. And I want to tell Stacey and this. Stacey, and we've got your back. My friend Kim, further down in the presentation, she's going to give you some tips that can help your child cope with the increase in the number of subjects that they're doing. And trust me, it's doable. Some of you as parents, you would have done it yourself. Another area that your child would have to get accustomed to is this. In the primary school, we had one awesome superhuman of a primary school teacher supporting your child per class. In standard 4, in standard 5, each level they have one teacher they spend the entire day with. But just like the number of subjects at the secondary school level, your child would probably have between 9 and 12, maybe even more, teachers guiding them through the various subjects that they're now being exposed to. And these are different teachers with different personalities, different teaching approaches. The students, your child would have different chemistry with each of these teachers. So it's something that they're going to have to get used to as well. One of the other things we considered when we were preparing to give you some helpful practical tips about transitioning from primary to secondary is the fact that whilst primary school offers your child a more guided and structured environment, and structure is in secondary school, in the secondary school, gradually your child is going to be moving to more independence, a more independent approach where the child is going to have to manage through some of the workload with support and guidance from teachers and you, the parents. They are going to have to start doing research, doing a lot more homework. So they will be allowed opportunities to grow in the area of independence. And these are just a few of the areas in terms of transition. Okay. Kim, did any of the parents indicate further concerns that they might have?
Yes, we seeing some more responses directly on our Menti,
Ah,
and I can
lovely.
tell you what we have. Another participant indicated that their concern was being able to help my daughter balance her academics with her hormonal changes and how
Woo.
would it affect her. And we have another one, and it's very interesting, the attitude towards adults with regard to Gen Z language and slangs.
Wow.
And we have another one similar to what was shared earlier, adjusting to new subjects and extracurricular activities.
You know what that says to me, Kim? It says, as parents, we have common concerns. And I want the parents to know if you chose to join 21st Century tonight for the first in a series for September, October, you are going to get helpful tips. Tips that you and your child can use to get them through this transition. Because it's been happening since they got the results of the SCA and they transitioned, they registered and so on. You've been preparing them. And I want you to continue to contribute in the chat. During this hour, you can get some of those questions answered. We can give you tips and advice because we are not just educators, we are parents as well. We are uncles, we are aunts, okay? We are educators. So we are on the ground giving you the tips as it happens. I love that the parent just mentioned the hormonal aspect of it because we have to not just look at the transition in terms of the educational side, we're looking at the social and emotional transition. Many of the kids are now transitioning to puberty. If they have not started it already, they will soon be upon it. And puberty, as parents, we all went through it. We know what it is like. We all have unique experiences. It's something that we have to guide our kids through. It can be quite a shocking experience, to get used to that. And then there are other concerns in primary school. We were speaking about the myriad of teachers they have to deal with, but they are going to be making new friends. They spend 7 years in primary school with some of the same faces. At the secondary school, during the course of this week, they've been getting to know new friends, and there is this desire to want to fit in, to be part of a clique, to want to belong. Then, of course, parents, I know some of you would be very concerned. I was looking at social media and I saw a parent was speaking to the fact that bullying is taking place at the school where her child is attending. And it is a very serious concern. Bullying, taxing, especially when the form one's going to school and some of them are petite and they're very soft in nature, they're very introverted. Some things like this they might be exposed to. You want to make them aware of it so that you can help them manage through it if, God forbid, some of these things happen. Okay? And so it's the social emotional aspect that we're going to handle. And just remember, you can contribute to this conversation in the chat. We do want to hear from you, your biggest concern as we go along to give you some tips. Kim, do you want to share any more? Are we getting some more feedback from our parents about their biggest concern?
So we don't have any more at this time, but we do have a few other questions that we will be asking throughout the session.
All
And again,
right,
as you indicate,
awesome.
parents can continue to share their concerns in the chat as well as on the Mentimeter poll.
Great. And not just share your concerns. If, as we go along, some of these practical tips resonate with you, you've been utilizing it, let us know in the chat. Let all of the participants, because we have more parents joining in, let us know what's working for you. So we spoke about transitioning in terms of the educational aspect. We spoke about what we have to think about in terms of social and emotional. We want to move on to some suggestions for you. And parents, I want to throw these 3 key skills out to you. In order to support your child's transition from primary to secondary school, we are 21st century educators. We want to suggest to you that you hone, that you support the development of your child in terms of their organizational skills, and this is a big one in the middle there, their self-management skills because they are growing in confidence and independence. And another big one as well, their problem-solving skills. Because guess what, mommy and daddy, and I'm hoping there are daddies in our midst as well tonight, if you need to bring a child across to you, your phone to your computer to hear this presentation, bring them, it's for the parents, but it's intended as well for you to support your child. So if we have your Form 1 students chiming in, make sure they can participate in the chat as well. If they have a question for us about what are these organizational skills you're talking about? This thing called problem solving. I can't deal with problems on my own. I'm only 12 years old. Not at all. They've been managing problems all of their lives, and here problems, it might be have been school challenges, things in math, things in language. We will guide them. We will support them. So we're talking about the organizational skills, the self-management skills, the problem-solving skills. Trust me, parents, you also have these skills. You are strong in some of them, and you may be working on improving in others. Okay? So let's get into the specifics. See that big C word there? It's all colorful for you, parents. Your relationship with your child is the biggest factor that will contribute to the type of transition that they have from primary to secondary school. Relationship. Don't lose them just yet. As they move from this cusp of childhood to puberty to adolescence, don't lose them. Communicate with them. Communicate with them about their expectations, how they are feeling, their anxieties and stresses. I'll be candid with you because I work with my nieces and nephews as well. Sometimes in communicating, we are too stern, we are a little bit harsh. Sometimes we have to find that balance and we have to give them the chance to share with us what they're feeling and what is going on. So keep the lines of communication open. Later on in the presentation, Kim will give you examples of how you can foster communication with your kids. So stay tuned for some specifics as it relates to communication. I want to ask you parents and let us know in the chat, do you know what subjects your child had today in terms of the timetable? Who has the timetable? Does the child have the timetable in a notebook, on a sheet of paper, by their desk? I want to suggest to you, in order to support your child and help your child develop his or her organizational skills, You want to make sure that they are fully accurate with their timetable for the week. Some schools have 6-day timetables. Some schools have 5-day timetables. Some schools have 7-day periods a day. Some have 8. Some have 6. Let them understand how these things work. Go through the scheduling of the time frame. Is it a 35-minute period? Is it a 40-minute period? And I want to give you this tip, and it will be reiterated later on as well. Put up the timetable for everybody in the home to know and to see. Where are some of the best places you can put up the timetable? Tell us in the chat. Where are some of the best places you think you can showcase the timetable for your Form 1 child for everybody to see so that they can help and support as they get accustomed to their secondary school schedule? Let us know in the chat where you might post it up, okay? And whilst you're putting that in the chat, and whilst Kimmery helps monitor with that, I want to tell you this as well. In primary school parents, many of us are guilty of it. It was not a bad thing. We help the children pack up their bags. We help them clean up their bags. They come home from school. We check it through and we get rid of garbage and we go through the books. And I want to suggest to you, as you promote this self-management, this independence in your child, for these few weeks, for these 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sit with them as they're packing their bag. Hold a timetable with them. Say, okay, tomorrow you have math, science, English, IT. What are the books that you need? Help them to put it in. Let them check for whatever resources they may need for these subjects. You don't pack the bag for them. Support them with it, because we are trying to engender in them this idea that, listen, you are gradually going to have to be responsible for doing these things on your own. We are not just throwing you, as in swimming class, into the deep end of the pool and expecting you to swim. We're guiding you through to understand that timetable, because we think it's easy to understand a timetable, but it's a little more complicated with all of these subjects. Kim, you have some feedback from parents as to where they can put the timetable?
Right. So the timetable, we have one comment from Toy David John. My daughter has a copy of the timetable, which I made available. The parent made it available for both of them. On the bedroom wall, we have the kitchen, on the
Yes. Yes.
refrigerator door and bedroom wall, bedroom
Yep.
and living room, near the
Really good
front
places.
door, on the fridge. And we also have another comment in terms of a concern. How do
Yes.
I guide my 11-year-old petite, quiet daughter who will be now going into puberty and dealing with older boys and girls who would have more worldly experiences and may want to introduce her to the life? I have had the talk, but my fear is that she could be swayed should she come into contact with the wrong company.
That's a great question, Kim. And I'm
Yes.
going to touch on it as we go to the next few slides, because it's a concern that many parents would have. And just in case, if there are other persons who have tips for this parent on what she's asking, helping them to sway away from that peer pressure, trusting that you have taught them well, that you've guided them to make sound decisions, feel free to put your tip in the chat. All right. Remember, we're talking about organizational skills, self management skills, and problem solving skills. Okay. Now, parents, I remember going to high school, my parents weren't able to support me as much with the different subjects that I was doing. Back then, we didn't have this thing called internet and Google, at least not in my early years of secondary school. And so we had to go to the library. But parents, I want to make this recommendation to you. This is something I try with my nieces and nephews, and I find that it works. The best free school out there. When I work with teachers, because I train teachers and HODs as well, I say to them, listen to me, this free school of YouTube, everything is there. Of course, you have to weigh with a grain of salt what is authentic information and what is not. But just in case you're looking for a tool to support your kids in the 10, 11, 12, 13 subjects they're doing, use YouTube. Let me tell you an example of how I do it. This week, my nephew, he was looking at geometry, and it started with the basics, lines. So his teacher gave him some notes. He came home, we looked through the notes, and then I said to him, let's look at some YouTube videos on the basic geometry lines. And I simply searched for that, geometry lines, and I found these 1 minute and these 5 minute videos, and we looked at three. And I said, okay. And he said to me, I'm clear. So this sort of supported what the teacher did. I like also not using videos that are too long. So I scrutinize YouTube. I choose short videos, 1 minute to maybe max 4 minutes. And I go through it before we use it so that I'm sure that it's the content that they're doing, and then they look at it as well. But I've found that for everything that your child is doing in the different subjects, YouTube has a video that can clarify things for them. It's free, they can use it in their own time. Remember, we're talking about them taking charge of their learning. Show them how to find videos, search for the videos to help support their learning in the classroom. All right, so YouTube is out there. And then there is this, and I want us to use this in a positive way, right? You as parents, in trying to support your child, it's important for you to know what the circle that they're surrounding themselves with, their circle of friends. You also want to know who are their friends' parents. And so I want to encourage you to form parent networks through something as simple as a WhatsApp chat group, or even being a part of the school's PTN, the Parent Teacher Network, or the PTA, the Parent Teacher Association. These are ways in which you as a parent can be active in supporting your child together, because you are not doing it alone. A parent was just talking about, how do I find ways to support my child and help her to understand and not bend to the pressure of her peers who may be trying to convince her to try something that may not be for her. Sometimes getting to know the parents, we can impact our children as a group, as a network. Came out the parents saying anything additional in the chat that we want to that might be useful for this part of the presentation?
Oh no, what we do have, and our CEO has been sharing some information, and I'm directing parents, please check. She has shared with you the YouTube channels that can assist your children. So save those. They're being shared in the chat, Khan Academy and other academic channels. And she's also shared with you some of the strategies that she has used for her children as well, with regard to the sharing of the timetable.
All
Right.
right, awesome. Did you want to show them something, Kim? Because I've stopped sharing now. So if you wanted to show them anything, you
When you're
can.
finished, this is just because we're still waiting on some additional responses. We don't have anything else in our Menti,
All
but
right,
you can
beautiful.
continue.
Beautiful. I want to go to the parent who was talking about, let me just go to the chat and reread the parent's question, Kim, where she said, how do I guide my 11-year-old who is now going through puberty and dealing with older boys and girls who would have more worldly experiences, and want to introduce her to the life, you know? And I discovered in preparing for this, Kim, I discovered this lovely online handbook, and I'm just going to jump to that now so that they can see. Um, this is a handbook that's top tips for starting your journey into secondary school. I will put the link to this in the chat so that you all can access it and look at it. But basically, it was prepared by Humber Teaching, the NHS Trust. And for this parent who has a question, and for all of the others, you have to continue having the conversation with your child, helping them to build a sense of self so that when they are approached by persons who may try to take them on a path that is not safe for them, they can withstand that. Exactly can you do that? Well, this group, they suggested that you try certain things like this. For example, if your child is having or experiencing a lot of anxiety as they're transitioning, you might want to help them use some of these techniques. Let them try the 5 4 3 2 1 approach, where in order to bring them back to the moment, they identify 5 things they can see, 4 things they can touch, 3 things they can hear, 2 things they can smell, 1 thing they can taste. And as they go through that and transition through the senses, they would hopefully calm down. So if they know, okay, they say to you, mommy, daddy, I have a class tomorrow. This teacher kind of makes me anxious. They're kind of strict. I don't know them well yet. You might want to tell them, hey, why don't you try the box breathing approach? The box breathing approach is simply breathing for 4 seconds. You inhale, you hold for 4 seconds, you exhale for 4 seconds, you hold again. So the key is 4 seconds between the inhale, the holding, the exhaling, and holding. These things help with your child to manage anxiety. And people, anxiety is real. It has sometimes very visible signs, sometimes it does not. You might want to recommend to your child that they do something like room search, where if they're feeling anxious in a class, or they're feeling scared for some reason or worried, they can sit quietly, scan the room, look for and say what things they can see in a particular category. Things that are the same color, things that are the same shape, things that that are particular material. Some of you might be familiar with earthing. Earthing is simply taking off your socks and shoes and putting yourself on the bare earth, the sand soil, and grounding yourself. They may not be able to do this at school. They may not, because they're in the classroom. But it's something you can teach them at home as well, because sometimes they get homework assignments. They might have some project to do and they're feeling nervous. So these tips on how to manage with stress and anxiety, it's in this booklet that we will share with you. When teaching them how to focus on building themselves and believing in who they are, we want to use positive affirmations. And in this booklet by this group, they are showing you some positive affirmation cards, ready-made cards. And some of them read like this. Sometimes you like to put little love notes for your children in their lunch bag, or in their bag, or on their wall, or by their bed. If you want some ready-made positive affirmations for your child, these are some. I am kind. I am enough. I am brave. I am caring. I am valued. Parents, these affirmations, notice how beautiful they are with the heart-shaped emojis and the brilliant colors. You can print them from the booklets. You can give it to your child on a random day of the week when you pick them up from school after a long day. You can give them one of these. And listen, better than just giving them this, you can say it to them. I believe that you are enough. And let them repeat it after you. I am enough. Come, try it with me. Try it with me. I believe, parents, that you are very caring parents. Say it. I am caring. I'm not hearing you. Kim, are you hearing them? All right,
I
let's
am
hear them again.
caring parent.
I
I am
am
very
caring.
caring.
Lovely. Remember, as parents, you want to be helpful to your child. Say it, parent. I am helpful. You can unmute and say it if you need
I
to.
am helpful.
You are helpful, John. You are helpful. Remember, you are also strong. Come on, say it after me. Even if
I
you're
am
not unmuting.
strong.
You are strong. I am strong. This
I am
one,
strong.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I
Enough.
love it. I'm hearing so many persons.
Enough.
I'm hearing them. Just as your kids need as parents, we know how tough it can be sometimes. Huh? The anxieties that you face, you're wondering if you are doing enough for your child. Trust me, the fact that you are here tonight, you are interested in doing even more for your child. And these same things can work for your child in building their confidence, helping them with their self-management skills, their problem-solving skills. But watch this one. This is my last tip for you before I transition to my colleague Kimmery to continue. This is something called the worry tree. And people, many of us, we understand. We have the tenacity sometimes, the penchant to worry. I want you can use this and help your child use this. This is called a worry tree. You want to figure out if this is really how to handle a concern you're having. Ask yourself first, what am I worried about? Is this worry about a current problem, or is it a hypothetical problem, like a what if problem? Can I do something about this? No. This will help your child to navigate with their problem solving skills. If it's a what if problem, a hypothetical situation, they can let the worry go, and you'll show them how to change their focus or attention to what is in front of them, what they can manage, right? However, if it's a current problem that they need to get a solution to, they will move from the current problem And through your communication with them, you will come up with an action plan of what, when, where, and what, when, and how. And if it's something they can deal with now, they do it and they let the worry go. And if it's something the action plan requires you and the child to work through this over a period of time, they can schedule it, be organized about managing this worry or problem, and eventually they can resolve it, let the worry go, and grow to glow and manage better. So it's a worry tree. They have some other activities here like strength spotting and so on, where your child can talk about things that they're good at, things that my friends would say about me, things I like about myself. These activities, if you, when you get the link, I'll put it in the chat, save it, go through it. If you don't, let your child literally go through it and write it down in your communication or discussions with them. You can chat with them about it. Things that they love about their family, things that they're proud of, things that make them unique. So I'm going to put this link in the chat for you. It's a very simple, very short handbook that gives you useful, tangible things that you can try with your student, with your children. It's just 9 pages, and I'm putting it in the chat now for you so that you can access it and in your free time explore the booklet some more. As I close off, I want to hand you over to my colleague Kim, and I want to encourage you to keep your questions coming, keep your contributions coming. For example, are any of those tips in the school transition guide that I just shared in the link and that I was showing you helpful to you? Have you been using it? How has it been working? Let us know. I thank you so much for looking at the 3 skills, the organizational, the self-management skills, and the problem-solving skills. Kim is going to continue to show you some specific practical things that you can do to help your child hone these skills as they manage their transition to secondary school. Kim,
Yes,
over to
I'm
you.
right here. Thank you. And even before I jump into it, I'm just asking, do we have any parents, any of our participants? Do you have any questions specifically for my colleague, for Dave, in terms of what it is he already shared? If you have any questions, you can raise your hand. We will take your questions live, or you can type it in the chat. And we want to give you an opportunity to do that as we move on to the next section. So feel free, you have questions or comment that you'd like to share at this juncture, the opportunity is here for you to do that. And as we continue, any questions?
No, I'm seeing some lovely contributions from them, and somebody's recognizing the importance of doing these positive affirmations and teaching them how to manage with worries and anxiety. They're saying those things are important. So as you continue to share tips with them, Kim, I will monitor the chat and we will share feedback whenever you give us an opportunity to.
Sure, thank you. So we're going back to our Mentimeter, and I would ask Dave to share the link again. It's supposed to be there. Share it again. We're going back to our Mentimeter. We're talking about homework. You can scan the QR code or go to www.menti.com, enter the code 73415234. Go ahead and do that. And this is the question that we're asking. Share one homework struggle. What is one homework struggle that you've experienced as a parent with getting your charges, your children? Do you have a struggle with getting them to complete homework assignments? So share with us in the chat. You can share it in the chat, but I'm encouraging you as well. I'm encouraging you to go straight to our Mentimeter. And I'm just going to pause a little bit here and stop sharing to see if any of you have been able to access that Mentimeter. I'm seeing one comment from Hillary. I remember when I myself was in high school, 2 of the quotes that helped me manage stress were, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and I can do anything I set my mind to. And Hillary, just like you, that first one, we were encouraged to write it out in our notebooks. And I remember distinctly one of our teachers encouraging us to put that one in our notebooks. So I'm asking here, share share one homework struggle. Share one homework struggle. Share one homework struggle, and we would bring that up right here and give you just about a few seconds to share with us. What is one homework struggle you've experienced as a parent, getting your children to complete the homework, complete tasks, complete assignments? Share one homework struggle or type it in the chat, or you can open your mic and let us know at this time. What is, if we could get at least 3 responses, we can get 3 responses. Or is it that all of our participants have well-behaved children who complete all of their homework on time? Let us know. Can you raise your hand if you'd like to share? And if it is that you have children who are completing their homework, let us know, because there may be parents who are logged in who would like to find out, what have you been doing to get your children to complete their assignments, do all of their homework? Okay, so go ahead and share one homework struggle as we talk about homework and assignments and what it is we can do as parents to ensure that our children are making the best with regard to the education that they are embarking on. They've started secondary school. For many of our participants, your children have just started secondary school.
Right. So we have a parent here who's saying one of her concerns, or when it comes to homework, is being able to help her son focus when he's doing his homework. And I know you have some tips on that, helping them to keep their focus. Ms. Gittens, if you wish to make a contribution, you are welcome to make it short and sweet so that we parents can hear from you, Ms. Gittens.
Okay, good night, everyone, and I hope you can hear me.
Definitely.
We know when it comes to homework, it's for our children very overwhelming and stressful. For my children, I think time management is a problem when it comes to them doing their homework. They find themselves mostly engaged in games, and it has been really a stress in my home as it relates to Roblox. And that game that has been like the devil in my home. I'm trying still to research it to get it out of my home. So I kept changing the password on my computer most times and even end up forgetting. But I don't want it to be so. I want them to obey happily in that they are disciplined enough to know that they have
Right.
homework, share what they
Yes.
have, and we complete it together. But
And
sometimes time management is the problem.
it is, it is. We have somebody who was saying, it's too early in term for homework. But Yvette, I have an expert here who is going to give you a response to that, a lived tip. Okay, Leanne, you can
Okay.
chime in and give Yvette and the other parents this tip that you use that we know works.
Hi, good evening. So I actually have a son. He's in Form 3. I have a twin, a boy and a girl. So they're in Form 3 now. And in particular with my son, of course, the Roblox, as you mentioned, it's like, whoo. So during the holidays, I left him alone. They know the drill. So it's about, I think, building routine so that they know when they get home, homework, we check homework. They have to do their homework, they have to bathe, they do their extracurricular activities. And once you finish packing your bag, we have a bedtime. So in between, when you finish doing all your assignments or whatever you have to do, then I leave you alone until bedtime. So he gets to play his game then. But you are not allowed to play before that. And you have to come and show me. So I check to see what homework they have, and I give you that leeway. And the other thing is, if he really is struggling with not focusing, the internet is turned off. So
And that has worked, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Because I remember a day they weren't listening, and it's boys I have, so they kind of just not obeying happily. So one day or twice, I would have taken the router, the plug that is gone to the not the big one, the plug that goes to the transformer, and I took it to work with me twice, and I felt that it works. So when school is finished and I'm home, then they will get to go on the computer. Not hurry to come
Awesome.
home just to be on the computer.
And remember, as Leanne chimed in again, consistency is key. We don't want to just be over them managing their discipline and their time management. We want to help them self-manage. Eventually, it will take some time. They're 11 and 12-year-olds. They are kids. They want to play. But
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
I know you have some, you were talking about homework. Give them your tips for homework.
We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it because especially the Roblox, I've made a personal decision to actually structure a lesson around Roblox, given the kind of interest that I've seen with the students. And we know that this has been a struggle for many parents and keeping students focused. When Dave shared earlier, Dave shared with us and looked at the organizational skills, self-management skills, and problem-solving skills. We want that coming out of this session, parents understand, or we're able to help you guide the work and build the habits where homework is concerned, where assignments are concerned. And I'm saying this because there are different ways that we can see homework being a challenge. There are times in our attempt to support children, some parents can find themselves actually doing work for children. And I know we don't have any of those parents logged in, but I've seen it happen where parents do the work. But what we want to do as parents is to guide the work. We want to guide the work and build the habit. How can we do that? I'm sharing here with you 7 strategies to help guide our children with regard to their homework. These are some that I used when my son was younger. These are some that I've learned from other parents. And these are some that I found that I felt very interesting. The first one is a 15-minute daily check-in. And I heard Leanne mention it just now. We'll come to the other part just now. A 15-minute daily check-in. If it is too much for you to do this every single day, at least ensure that at the end of the week, you have checked in to see what it is your child did for homework. When they come home, check in with them. Make sure that they're studying. Find out what it is they have for homework. Let them not just say, well, I have some math. Let them explain to you what it is they have to do for homework in some detail. Being able to articulate this in some detail is also going to help them organize mentally what it is they have to do. Another strategy, this is the one that Leanne mentioned, show me what you did. Don't just say, well, yes, I'm finished with my homework. I know this trick, I know this strategy. Yes, mommy, I did the homework. Okay, bring it and let me see. And especially if we did a 15-minute check-in before, we may be able to really determine, did you really finish this? Is this homework actually completed? So let them show what they did. We want to also encourage independence with small rewards. So let's go back to Roblox and some of the games. And as we heard earlier, if they complete the task, and especially if they do it well enough, they can be rewarded with probably an extra 15 minutes of game time, of internet time, something that we know they enjoy. 15 minutes extra if it is well done. Not that they've rushed it down and given us mediocre, but they've done it and it's well done. Create a quiet study spot. I mention this because I've taught students and I still teach students who are online. And sometimes during an online class, a student would open their mic to respond to a question or to contribute to the lesson. And I realized that there's a lot of noise in their background. And they do not have a quiet spot to study and to learn. There are ways that we can create this even in full households. Give them a space where they can write, there is enough lighting, and that they can sit and do some work without distractions. Many years ago, when I was in Standard 5, my parents had already burglar-proofed our gallery. And then my mother put some drapes, some heavy curtains in there. My father had a keyboard, and his keyboard was one of the larger ones, and it came with a cover. And when it was covered, this became my study desk. And that was the space that I used when it was time to study. Never mind that I would peep through the drapes and watch my siblings and other neighborhood children playing in the street, and I could not play. As we continue, I want to also encourage you to let us know where you have logged in from. I'm seeing some activity in the chat. Yes, Dave.
All right, so parents were just sharing, they were talking about, Kim, you have your son as well, you know, the tricks that the kids come up with. And she was saying that when she asked her son, hey, show me your homework, her son would say to her bigger son, I didn't show you, mom, because you're going to let me make changes. You know, so I was saying to her, yeah, they have quick responses. And of course,
Yes.
Leanne said her son does the same thing. So I'm not sure if it's a gender specific tactic. I didn't try that. I didn't. But if we have any dads in our midst, maybe the dads can
Let
say,
us know.
you know, and just in case, Kim, as you continue to share your habits, I'm asking the parents to chime in if there's any one of those that they feel it's possible for them to try. So you can
Right.
continue and I'll share with you as they share.
Yes, thank you so much. We also want to set a consistent homework routine. Is it that they get home, they take a bath, have something to eat, and then sit and do their homework? I was the type of child that I would get home and I would want to get straight to my work, and then I can take a shower, take a bath, have something to eat, and relax, because I needed to finish the work before I started to relax. Encourage children to break up the work into manageable chunks, so that sometimes it may be a lot of work, it may feel overwhelming. They can break up the work into manageable chunks so that they can get a lot more done in the space of time. One of the things that I find very useful is if they can determine how much time am I allocating to study, how many activities or assignments do I have to do, and do a division. Divide it and separate the work using timeframes to get it done. Last but not least is to model good study habits. Children will model what they see. If they are seeing reading taking place at home, they will read. If they're seeing parents who are engaged in activities at home, they will also be engaged in similar work-related activities. So model good study habits. When my son was doing SEA, I was doing my postgraduate diploma in education, so that he was seeing me studying while he was studying. Never mind that he would finish and go in his bed and I would still be up completing some work. But there are ways that you can get them to do some work because they are seeing you doing it as well. Homework, this is a quote that we want to leave you with regard to the homework. Homework success does not come from asking if it's done, but by engaging with what was done. With a quiet space, small rewards, and gentle encouragement, we can guide children to take ownership of their learning one step at a time. You can feel free to screenshot this and save it to encourage you with regard to your children in doing what it is they have to do. As we continue, this is something that Dave mentioned earlier, and this has to do with the networking and the connecting. How do we connect and network? And this is important for parents. He mentioned the PTA and staying in touch with the school and so on, but I want to give you this as a step-by-step. Parents, your role is crucial in the connectivity that exists between you, your child, and the school. So one of the first things we want to encourage you to do is to be aware of who the form teacher is. Who is your child's form teacher? Know their name, and if possible, get a phone contact for them. Not all teachers share their numbers, and please understand, it's not a right. They don't have to. Some teachers may prefer to share an email and a school's email, but whatever means of communication that they have made available to you, Please take advantage of it. Know who the subject teachers are. You have a list of subjects that your child will be doing. Find out the names of the teachers who will be teaching your child those subjects. The timetable that we spoke about earlier that you will create and place strategically, put the name of the teacher next to the subject. Or you can have your children write the name of the teacher inside of the notebook for that subject so that they know the teacher. Also ensure that you have the phone number for your school, the general office. Have the number for the general office. You want to be able to have phone contacts, be able to send voice notes, to use WhatsApp, emails, and stay connected with your school, with the teachers and the office and the administration of your child's school. Join the WhatsApp chats for the school, your parent communities, because all of these will be important. Now, I'll skip ahead here and I would ask, you can share in the chat, what is your best survival tip? What are some strategies you have used as a parent to help you keep ahead of what it is you are doing with your children and getting them ready for secondary school? Share what has been your best tip. And as you share yours, I'm sharing these here. And these are some quick wins for busy parents. Busy parents, what can we do to stay ahead of the game? Sunday preparation is important. It can be Saturday as well, but that preparation on the weekend, it sets the tone for the week. If you know you have more than one child to drop off to school, and talk about preparing the uniforms, preparing lunches, getting them involved in that type of preparation. The Sunday prep sets the tone for the rest of the week. We spoke about posting timetables where everyone can see it. And I like that one parent indicated that timetables are also posted by the front door. I love that one. I'm familiar with the bedroom posting and the refrigerator posting, but this at the front door also helps. Set clear daily study goals. What am I going to study today? And this is not homework, because apart from homework, children also need to be doing some studying in preparation for midterm exams and end of term. Because at the secondary level, they're going to have midterms usually around October, and they would have their end of term. And then there's some teachers who threw in a sprinkling of probably monthly tests or weekly quizzes. So let them ensure that they're studying on a daily basis. Those subject areas that are a struggle, that they're weaker in, there should be some daily review and revision. Give them some transition cues for study time. They have just come home from school. What are they going to do? Is it that, all right, take a 5-minute break, this is what we're going to do, and then we're getting into study? And even while they're studying, that after 1 hour, is it that, okay, take a snack, get up, take a walk, transition from one thing to the next. We spoke about the distractions and the screen time. Limit the screen distractions during homework. And I will go a step further. Limit the screen distractions at bedtime. Too many high school children are spending long, unnecessary hours at night on their devices, and they don't get enough sleep. Encourage your children using voice notes. And I heard Dave mention this. You can send daily voice notes to encourage them, because they will be on their devices even during school, but we know that there are limits to doing that. So that probably just before the day starts, send them a voice note. Let them know that they can do this, they are strong, they're capable. And also celebrate some of the small wins at the end of the week. Celebrate those accomplishments so that they are encouraged to do more and to improve. celebrate these at the end of the week. So I turn back over to Dave as we look at some questions and we wrap up.
All right, awesome. So I want to thank Kim for those very practical things as it related to homework and study habits and creating an atmosphere that would support your child's transition into this phase of secondary school. And as we are 1 minute to eat and we do want to close off in a timely manner, I want to remind you of the 3 sets of skills we're engendering in our young people and in ourselves: organizational skills, self-management skills, and problem-solving skills. And we got very specific. We shared in the chat the little booklet that provided you with positive affirmations, guidance to deal with anxiety and stress, coping strategies to deal with those. Kim gave you some tips on how to manage with homework. And I'm encouraging you. We want you to stay with us, stay connected as we continue our series on homework, hormones, and headaches. We have a session that's coming up dedicated solely to working with our male students, our boys. We have a guidance counselor, a qualified counselor coming in to talk to you about this transition, not just from primary to secondary school, but in terms of dealing with puberty and some of the stresses that you're talking about. Yes, Yvette, we've got your back. And for those of you who are wondering, well, how am I going to access this information? I missed this thing. 21st Century Educators, we have a YouTube channel. The link is in the chat, or you can simply search for us, 21st Century Educators Limited. On our Facebook page, you will see some of, over the course of the next month, September into October, some of these same slides that we have here, some of these same tips. You are going to see it in our daily posts, and we have sometimes on average 2 to 4 posts a day. And these tips will come at you, not just on the YouTube channel, but on our Facebook handle. I believe on our IG handle, but definitely on Facebook and YouTube, you will see it there. And parents, listen, you know how these YouTubers say it. If you're loving what you're seeing, if you like what you got tonight, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. So tonight, we had so many of you joining in from different parts of the Caribbean. As we continue to post on our future sessions, be sure to share it with parents, share it with the principals in the schools, and tell them, hey, send it through the PTA network, send it through the WhatsApp groups. We want to have a forum here of parents, not just from Trinidad and the Caribbean, but from throughout the globe, sharing tips, because it's a common experience we're all having. All right. So I thank you so much for joining us. Look out for the recording on YouTube. Yes. Kim and I, Leanne, we will be back giving you some more guidance over the rest of September and October. And if there is something that you feel is a burning topic that you want us to address, let us know. Let us know, and we will find an expert. If we can't do it for you, 21st Century is all about networking. We'll find an expert who can help. And just before we leave, I know we have some daddies in our midst. We have, of course, we have the mummies there, and we have the kids. Can I ask if 1 or 2 of you might be brave enough to unmute and share in 10 seconds one takeaway from tonight's session? And if you don't feel brave enough to unmute just yet, by raising a hand, you can put it in the chat. One takeaway. We want to hear from you. What did you think about this? Is there something useful that you heard? A little thing, self. I often say to people, a lot will be coming at you. You don't have to try everything. Take one thing, start with that. Then try another. Do we have any brave daddy? I want to hear from my daddy, Kim. Because
yes,
it's a partnership. It's a partnership happening out there. Any student, any mummy, you want to chime in, feel free. Yeah. You can unmute. I'm giving you 10 seconds because we're over our time by 3 minutes. But we do want to hear from you. This is why we're doing it for you, the parents. We want to reach out to you as that key stakeholder, bridge that gap between what's happening with your child and what's happening in the school and the home. Let's hear from you. Kim, are you seeing any willing persons to share? I'd really love to hear from persons.
Go ahead and unmute.
Feel free to unmute if you wish to share. All right. Even if it's you want a topic you want us to handle, this is your chance, parents. I mean, this is a free opportunity, 21st Century doing it all for you, to hear it from the experts, and you parents are experts too. So we would love to hear from you. Any takers out there? Come
I'm
on.
seeing a mic
We,
open
we
and
want to end
seeing
off on a strong suit. We were hearing from
Suzette
Yvette, and
Sandy.
we were hearing from Crystal, and we were hearing from let's see who else. Ayana. Ayana said Daddy is there listening in with her, and I love it. While they're having dinner, they're probably listening to us, Kim.
Right. And I
We have
believe that is
Carrie on board as well. We have
yes.
Hillary. We have Toy. We have Terry Marie. So
Mhm.
somebody's chiming in the chat. Somebody said they're grateful and they're looking forward to the next one. Thank you, Toy, David, John. And Toy, can you bring a friend next time? Bring 10 friends?
Mhm.
All
So
right.
there's a comment, Dave. There's Daddy
Tell
in the
us.
house. We have a comment here from one of the daddies in the house. And he says, Daddy in the house. Yes, my takeaway was getting more involved and getting to know my son's teachers.
Yeah,
Right?
people.
And that is Toy David John.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the
Yeah.
name I saw.
Yeah.
Right.
That was Ayana Williams Cox, and Toy
All right.
was sharing before that she's grateful
Right.
for the session. All
So
right, we're
that's
at
what
8:05, and I just want to hear one voice. I want to hear a live voice. I know it's intimidating sometimes to come on, huh? But Kim, what is Kerry saying in the chat?
Kerry Walker to saying, I appreciate the homework tip to help my son focus during his
Yeah.
homework.
Good. Kerry, try
Thank you,
one thing,
Kerry.
One thing, Kerry. Try one thing, see how it work, okay? And
Yes.
check out our Facebook page this week and throughout the month. You'll see the tips coming up. Any brave person wants to unmute and share one thing via voice, let us hear a brave parent. Oh,
I'm seeing mics opening. I'm seeing Yvette Gittens and Suzette Sandy.
all right.
I
So
see
why don't
Ayana
we
Williams.
give Yvette a chance, and then we'll give Sandy a chance. I'm giving you 10 seconds now, Yvette.
Mhm. The mic closed off again.
No problem.
We
So
have had
here's
an
what.
accident.
That's all right.
Right.
Kim, this is
Mhm.
going to be the end of the first school week tomorrow.
Yes.
And I want to say to the parents, hear this now, dear. Go out and celebrate with the kids the end of the first week. And when you take them out for the Chinese or the pizza, it's a good chance to do that check-in that Kim spoke about and
Yes.
find out how the week was, which subject they find might be hard, which teacher they do like, but also the teacher they like. And watch me, teachers are very likable. These teachers are working overtime for the children of the nation. Suzette, we weren't hearing you, my dear. I'm sorry. We weren't hearing you. Okay, so as we close off, I want to encourage you to celebrate the end of the first week, and we will see you in September as we give you some more support in helping your kids deal with homework, hormones, and all of the other
Headache.
things, headaches, and the good things as well. That will be coming across. Thank you so much, parents, from Leanne,
Thank
Kim,
you.
and I. We'll see you in September again.
It's
Bye,
still
everyone.
September.
Right, yeah. We'll see you
I'll see you.
next week then. Next week, Yvette.
Yes, very vibrant session. I really enjoy.
Thank
Bye.
you. I'm glad. Take care, Yvette.
Bye-bye.
Take care, Sheena. You're welcome. Bye,
Bye,
Toy.
thank
Bye,
you.
Carrie.
You're
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Bye. Thank you all for the great session again.
You're
No
welcome.
probs. Bye, precious.
Bye.
Bye, Cho.